Saigon, April the 30th, 8 o'clock. The last American helicopter on the roof of the American embassy prepares to lift off the last of the evacuees fleeing before the advancing communist armies.
But I haven't. I've stayed in Saigon with a few other reporters as the communists were making the final push. And when they did indeed come into the city, and I saw the Russian trucks carrying all these young North Vietnamese soldiers, the tanks coming through the city street, it was a tremendous shock because I'd been here 13 years. I'd seen America invest billions into, say, Saigon and the country itself. 58,000 young Americans had died. It was inconceivable to me that sort of a surrender, the city was surrendered with basically without a shot being fired, and the government, it turned in from being a Western outpost against the communists to being just another part of a larger communist empire. It was sort of shocking.
And then, shortly after midday, came the climax of 30 years of fighting. The first North Vietnamese troops entered the city, packed into trucks that flew the red and blue flag of the Communist Provisional Revolutionary Government, the PRG.
But we were in the middle of the most intensive actions. So there was very dramatic print and photo coverage, remarkable in its basically remarkable in its quality and quantity, and it's become a landmark for journalism ever since. The photographic collections and the collections of print stories are a really important contribution to modern journalism.
The journalists who covered the Vietnam War in retrospect were incredibly lucky because the U.S. military gave them total access to all the battlefields, every place that action was going on, and all you really needed to do was to go down to the helicopter landing site, and if there was a seat on a chopper, you could get on and go to any base. You could stay as long as you wanted, and you could come back when you wanted. And if you wanted to stay for 5 hours, 10 hours, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, that was fantastic.
They set up a kind of quasi